Hello everyone, my name is Martin Klaas and welcome to another edition of Light Talk. In this episode I would like to talk about a small little project that we completed recently in Fremantle in Western Australia, just between Perth and the coast. It's a little courtyard, a passageway in the back of Manning Building, which is wedged between Market Street, High Street and William Street, just next to iconic King Square in Fremantle. The design brief was pretty simple. It was a quite derelict place, a lot of antisocial behavior happening there, so they really wanted to do it up and make it a place a bit more pleasant. They were going to add in some F&B outlets around there to make it really a sort of a vibrant little space. So that was really our brief, to make it pleasant, to make it nice, and to really discourage antisocial behavior and vandalism and things like that. Lighting is always the thing that glues everything together. We obviously had to work with the architect, we had to work with the landscape designer, and our approach, like in all our designs, is generally to make light disappear in the sense that you don't see the physical fixtures, but we want to validate the space and let the light enhance the environment, the landscape, etc. So that's how we set about to develop and the design for this space. There's a couple of key elements that we had in this space, and first of all was the integration of light into benches. The architect had developed very nice seating facilities in that landscape, benches, and we thought that it would be a perfect opportunity to hide and conceal some lights and give also validation to the space in terms of proportions and just the overall understanding of the spatial proportions. So that was a really nice thing to do. It sort of gave some visual guidance at the same time because of the disposition of the benches throughout the courtyard. It gives you a really good impression and validation of the space. The second element that we brought in is to light up the trees. There were a certain number of groupings of trees throughout the courtyard. They were sort of grouped together. We never knew exactly where the trees were going to be, but we knew that there were a couple of bigger trees and tree groupings, plant groupings that we wanted to highlight. That was to sort of add the third dimension to the space, because otherwise the lighting is pretty flat. It is in the landscape or in the ceiling, but by adding the light to the trees, we created that third dimension, giving a bit of volume to the space. Then we also wanted to add in an element of interest, something that people would remember. And that's where we came in with the idea to add in gobo projectors. A double function, one to sort of give that moonlighting effect by projecting light onto the actual walkways, but at the same time also introducing some gobos in those projectors. To have some element of light falling to trees and that sort of idea. Giving a bit of dynamic as well. Those gobos are rotating, so there was a bit of movement, a bit of dynamics in there, and we thought that would really bring an added spice to that space, rather than a typical functional lighting that you would see in a courtyard like that. And then finally, the fourth element was the downlights. There was a canopy, a big glass canopy and an overhang from the building itself, where we concealed lighting, low glare, deep recess type of light fixtures. Again, with the idea not to see the lights, but to see its effect when it reaches the walkway itself and the passageway. So that's were the four key elements. Very simple. But now if we look back at the end result and we look how everything came out, we're very happy. The feedback from the client and people that have been using the space now has been really positive. And I think it adds a new, interesting and vibrant place to the city of Fremantle.